I'd like to call the meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
I make a motion.
Second.
I guess there's no change. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Jonathan Blake.
Well, Christy Powell is here. Jonathan does not know he's on the agenda, I would say.
Okay.
If you have any questions for me, just let me
Well, we thought he was gonna come in with some grand news, so.
know. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna just skip you then, Christie.
Okay.
Next item is approval of the minutes from April 21st, 2026. Any modification, changes? Hearing none, all those in favor? I'd entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item up is paying our bills. Payroll for 4/24/2026 in the amount of $177,309.85.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Payroll withholding for the same date, 4/24/2026 in the amount of $37,461.80.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Vision insurance in the amount of $287.69.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Dental insurance in the amount of $357.10.
Make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Life insurance in the amount of $1,404.70.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Medical insurance in the amount of $35,183.29.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Solid waste claims for 5/04/2026 in the amount of $3,271.23.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Accounts payable docket for 5/4/2026 in the amount of $253,073.97.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item is appropriation alpha quote to replace failed compressor at the courthouse. I think this is what Chris shared with us, that there's been money spent more so than what we even anticipated out of the budget. I pulled up the numbers. So far this year, we've spent $8,202.87 out of a $10,000 budget.
Yeah, the budget was cut. There was 15,000 total between all three buildings, but 2,500 of it was here. Actually, it's not 15 because 1,500 was the budget for
How much?
the South Annex. They cut the courthouse budget to 10,000.
Right.
The North Annex here, I believe, was 2,000 or 2,500.
This is the, no, this is,
This is the North Annex.
okay.
And then the South Annex was 1,500, so I think we're at 13,500, where we used to be 15,000, 2,500, and 2,500. But I sent you guys the printout of what all's been spent.
But that was an $18,000
Yeah.
cost.
And we were planning to pay 3,000 out of here, and there's only 1,800 left for the remainder of the year.
Where can we get that out of?
Well, we were taking it out of our building, major building maintenance fund, which it's on the edge really. It's something we probably should take care of on a regular. That was set up more so for a big roof, but we're out of money, so.
This
I
is
think-
for the compressor, right?
Yeah, two of them. There's two of them that have failed on the system at the courthouse is what it amounts to. As long as the others hang in there, it runs fine until one of them goes out and then it's hot.
Or cold.
Yeah, it's gonna present a problem.
It's gotta be fixed.
So I guess our only solution is to pull the whole amount out of that. I mean, if anybody's got another idea.
I don't know what else would come out of riverboats.
That would take, the council would have to
Yeah,
provide that. Any thoughts?
so that'd be two of them, right?
It's replacing two failed compressors. That system is not that old, and I don't know how many we've replaced, 2 or 3 of them so far. I think there's 6 total.
Hmm.
So it's for some reason
They're not holding up.
not very well.
Do we know what kind of a warranty they have on them?
Well, we looked the last time and it's past its warranty. So,
Seriously, before long, we need to look at putting a whole new system in.
Currently,
One
like
works.
that system, yeah, we need to change it because that was
Yeah.
just a phenomenal nightmare.
A
And hard to
control,
maintain.
one you can control.
I agree. A motion?
Make a motion.
I second that.
A motion and a second, pull the funds out of the major building repair fund. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item up is we have some appropriation for the highway department. Bituminous $400,000. That, Steve, that is you're just transferring that, aren't you?
We have to appropriate it before we can spend it. Yeah, it's getting ready. to get
But it's
paid.
coming out of your motor vehicle highway restricted. is where it's
Yes.
coming from.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is for
Part of-
action on the community.
Part of it's gonna be our match on that, part of it goes to lead.
Okay.
That's what this is all about. This is,
Mhm.
he has to get his money together for the match on the community crossings when it comes time to pay it.
Yeah.
Then the other one, you're pulling that out of,
That's just appropriating all that money.
just appropriate it to the list.
Mhm.
Wanna make a motion?
Now, they're one of the same, aren't they?
Well,
Well, I know we're having 2 transactions here, but can we make one motion to, yeah, because all he's doing is paying for his.
Yeah, it's just not already budgeted, so we just put the appropriation.
I'd entertain a motion to approve these additional appropriations. It's out of the motor vehicle highway restricted, and the funds are going into the community crossings grant fund for payment.
I'll make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
thank you.
I think we skipped the public comments, but I don't think anybody
Nobody
signed.
signed up, nobody
Nobody
came
signed
up.
up.
So I-
I wanted to update you guys on the binder.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering about
Hold on, Steve, because I was thinking about, let's see, don't we have let's just do that all at G.
Okay.
We're gonna go over these roads and that, get them approved. at
Oh,
that
okay.
time. 'Cause I thought it'd be nice to have you up here when you're approving rather than getting it wrapped up. Let's just, next item up is we have the Health Department Message Board. We've got a couple quotes. It seems like they're all right there together.
Mhm.
And we have one electrical quote. Here,
Did she send a second email to you guys separately? I had talked to her on Thursday, because she asked if she needed to be here and if I need to go get her. Nicole's here, we can go get her. I guess, thought she was gonna send an email since all of them were so close that, one of them was local, that she wanted to give that feedback.
One is from Stewart Signs and the other one is,
You wanna go see if Kim's available?
from Stewart Signs is.
Okay, great, so we'll get her.
she sent us, I think, 3 signed quotes. and-
Yeah, I got those, but I didn't see
Electrical.
that. I didn't know if she just sent it separately, because I saw the quotes, but when I talked to her on Thursday, she had asked if she needed to be here, and I said, well,
While we're talking, waiting for her, Andrew, are we not required to take the lowest bid?
Required to take the lowest responsive bid. So if you find a bid that's not, if it's low, but it's not responsive to your needs, or you don't believe that provider is responsible, you made a finding that like in the past they've been behind or
Right.
their
But it
workmanship
has
is
to be
shoddy.
for cause.
Yes, you have to find that they either weren't responsive to the quote, meaning you asked for a 10x12 and they gave you a 9x8, and you're like, that doesn't work, or they're not responsible, meaning you found that they've done shoddy work in the
It
past.
has
Other
to
than
be
that,
within specs.
what?
Be within specs.
Yeah, that's responsible.
Been difficult to work with or something.
Yeah, or something like that, yeah. So it has to be lowest, if you find they're responsive and you find they're responsible, then it has to be the lowest bid.
Does anybody figure out where we're going to put this if it goes out?
Right up front, right on 37. 37, 32nd Street out here on Tell Street. Right up from the flag is where they plan on putting it. At least that's what I'm told. Let's go on to, let's see.
She's here.
She's here? Oh, okay.
Oh, there you are.
Did you have a question?
You way
Yes.
back there.
Yes.
See that?
What we were just discussing is I think by state statute, we have to accept the lowest qualified, acceptable,
Responsible,
whatever the language is, bid on the sign. So that's kind of where we are on that. The one thing I want to confirm, you stated before, this is purchased for some funds out of Health First. And all the maintenance and everything there will be not a burden on the county. It's
Right.
gonna be paid. Your group will manage to make sure that the
Maintain.
sign gets all the necessary,
Info.
keep it up to date. So
Mhm.
it's not gonna be any additional burden whatsoever for the county
Right,
at all.
right. It's a way for us to educate the community in using the funds as they were meant to be used. You know, that education is a big part of that. So this is an opportunity for us to reach a group that we may not be able to reach otherwise.
I'm good.
Questions?
There was 2 quotes, the Visual Harmony and Sign Command.
There's 3 Husk as well.
Did you see us?
Husk was the original
Yeah,
quote that was
one.
given. And I honestly, I didn't, look at each one specific. But let's see, there was only one, excuse me, one company that didn't actually come in person here. And that was
Stewart
Stewart.
Stewart Signs. Mhm.
Yes.
What was his price, Stuart time?
Let's see one. Unless it didn't print off.
So his Sign Command currently is the lowest bid. Is that right?
I think so. $34,970.
Okay, that was Stuart time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stewart.
$34,970.69.
And then the Visual Harmony was 34,075.
75,
Real
yeah.
close.
Where was that?
That's, I'm looking for. It was originally sent with the initial email. Sorry, I didn't, organize better. Okay.
Trying to see where,
I have the original proposal from Husk.
oh, that's his warranty from Stewart. I don't have a.
I can go get it if it didn't print off in what I'd sent you, but
So it is higher than the other two, is that?
I don't think so. I think Husk is the best price.
Is the lowest one?
I think
Okay.
so.
No, I couldn't find it either.
Okay.
It was in our email. 'Cause I read
It was in the
I was saying-
email.
It's from the last council
I think it was
meeting.
last month. Well,
I'm trying to find it right now, because I put it in my health
I
department.
didn't bring any of that in here.
Oh, my goodness. Health department photo.
Will you be in charge of putting the stuff on here or who?
I will oversee ensuring that it is taken care of. Honestly, I would like for all of the employees out here to have the ability to input, because we all do different jobs and we have different things to educate about.
Yeah,
And, you know, EMA, soil and water, anybody that's out here, you know, would have the potential to use it.
right.
The platform is open, like, we would have a laptop. What I would foresee is putting it in a general location out here and giving access to, you know, the employees out here, department heads, you know, just making sure it's information that should be up there. But yeah, I'll make sure it stays current and, you know, keep something fresh on there.
Okay.
That's what's important to those
Yeah.
sites,
Yeah,
that it is visited regularly.
I don't think I have another.
I have
I'll go to
access
my
to my
email.
email. I have-
I'm looking right now for some message board here.
Okay, here it is. 33,938.79.
one benefit for Husk is, we have a local gentleman that, you know, I've got his cell phone number, easy to contact if something went wrong, versus, the other ones are not local. They have been very responsive with getting me figures and things like that, so I can't say that, you know, we should pick one over the other, but I do like the fact that I have an immediate contact for that one particular one.
Okay, so it would be that, the Husk, and then your electrician fees, correct?
Yes,
Which
And-
is 2,851.40.
that's the only estimate that I've gotten back for that, but I did request a quote from 2 other electricians. They just haven't got back yet.
How long have you had that request out?
About 2 weeks. I know they're busy, but, and maybe it's not something that they want to do, because Jack's, you know,
Yeah.
the other one came fairly quickly, but, you know.
I would entertain, if we're gonna approve this, we approve the electrical too, simply because the price has now been shared.
Sorry.
And so I think it's kind of unfair to the guy who was prompt and get you a quote as when you ask. So, any other comments?
Mhm.
I'd entertain a motion to approve us as the vendor and Jackson as the electrical company to hook it, provide. I think Husk probably hooks it up, programs it all. He just has to get power to the,
Right,
and they're gonna do all the installation Husk is, as
They
far
are.
as concrete foundations and everything associated with it.
everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I make a motion.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
how quick can they get started, do you know?
He's kind of biting at the bit, so I'm sure it'll be quickly. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, thanks.
thank you.
Updated animal shelter contract. Yeah,
I think I did it, but I'm not sure if I sent it to you. I was looking through my email.
we haven't had.
I didn't see anything.
I'll send it if we can put it on the agenda for next
Okay.
Okay.
meeting. I did it, I don't think I sent it though.
Entertain a motion to table the animal shelter contract.
I make a motion.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Health board compensation, composition. And one other thing, Andrew, I know we had this discussion, what the makeup needs to be, and we need to find us a physician that lives in the county. One other area of concern that has came to mind is that our current health officer Is there a requirement for that individual to also live in the county?
I believe so, yes.
I thought it was he just had a practice, because I thought we looked into that already.
To double check if it's
Well,
practice.
we need to clarify that because he's gonna cease his practice too.
Yes,
It's gonna
in
create
June.
us another
Opening.
problem. And
I know we looked into it with the hospital board, because the hospital board was, he had to resign, so he had to go from that.
Right.
And so I checked into it, because when I got notice of that, I was like, okay, well, how does that affect with health board? And you can look that up too, but I know I had an email, I think I sent it to
I think
you,
so.
with the guidelines for the health officer. They had to practice, but like you
So
said,
then
that's
the
soon.
question becomes, if a physician is practicing at the hospital that doesn't live here, would they be eligible to serve?
I'm gonna have to look into that for the health officer,
Because-
because there might be different rules. So for the health board itself, you need a physician living in the county, right? Department of Health, when I asked them, said we don't have one qualifies. They said, leave it vacant. You know, that's their guidance at this point. Now for a health officer, because they're the technical executive of the health department, they have lots of things they have to do. I'm wondering if the Department of Health has a different procedure about that, because that's like a necessary position.
Right.
If they have to resign the county or keep contract, you know, things like that. So let me double check about what their guidance is concerning that.
Find
part.
out exactly what we have to do.
Okay.
So I'd entertain table on that until we get.
But did you get the rest of the email on that? Just
I got
Yeah.
on how you went through those that had applied, some are eligible, some are not.
Well, we also, I think, have some people who are on it that I think are technically ineligible. So, the representative from the department, or from Branchville, as far as I understand, he doesn't have any technical qualifications. He's not a doctor or a nurse practitioner or whatever. He's on there because obviously that's a, confined population where disease can, transfer quickly, but there is no, vulnerable population qualification for that position. Now, the county council has a slot for the general public. So they could appoint somebody, they could appoint him technically.
So in other words, we made the appointment probably in error,
Mhm.
whereas
Based on the old
council
statute.
could have made,
Yes.
yes.
And I
So
think
now-
they might need to, and I'll have to talk to Rod, I don't want to step on his toes on that, but they might need to ask, does the health board, are they compensated?
I don't think so.
The health board, no.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I guess, because I was worried about Corey potentially being dual lucrative offices. So I think he could probably stay in. They appointed him as their member of the general public. So hypothetically, there could be some transferring. Like if you wanted, the Department of Corrections representative on there, the council could appoint him, and you guys could appoint him, Corey, because he has a professional qualification, on my understanding.
Can swap them around.
Yeah, just basically open their different slots to be on the same board, but in different appointments. And then after that, it's, the qualifications and stuff like that.
So if you could get that, exactly what we need to do, and then also, there's got to be other counties that have similar challenges.
Mhm.
I don't believe so, and I'm just curious how they staff their health board.
I think that they probably leave that position on the health board vacant because there's at least, there's 6 of them. They can have quorum and whatever, but the health officer is a completely different question because they have to do certain things. And
I think they sign off on pretty much everything that
Yeah.
goes on.
so I'll double check if they have different guidance for the health officer.
And then we'll have to find somebody that fits those credentials or whatever we have to do.
Yes, or,
to
yeah.
make that work. Okay. I would entertain a motion to table that until we get more information.
Make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item is the ordinance for donation funds. Now, that's probably related to the veterans.
Yes, we wanted to go ahead. I know I had sent several emails out, which I think I copied you guys on. I can't remember back the date, but I know we've been working on this for a couple months now. I had sent an email out to the other donation funds that had been that were set up, that we looked for
Don't have an
ordinance,
ordinance.
don't have ones as well. So I figured I wanted to go ahead and get these all cleaned up, where we can get that. So I had sent all of the department heads, and copied Andrew and you guys on the email basically saying, hey, you guys need to work with Andrew to get an ordinance set up. And I think really the only response you got was from the veterans.
Yes, so what I was looking for from people was, and this is kind of communication between each department and the commissioners, is what they want going into that line item and what they want going out. Because, I mean, a donation can mean a certain thing, but you guys and these departments need to make sure you understand, and the auditor understands what, when something comes in, they know it qualifies for that fund specifically because it hits the criteria, and then when they want to spend something out, they know you guys have authorized it to be spent. That's not necessarily a legal question, that's really just a governance credential question, what you want there, what you don't want there. Yeah, the veteran service officer got back to me, he did list several things that he wanted. I did put it together into an ordinance, and I did kind of tweak the language a little bit about what he was asking for, not substantively, but to kind of make sure that there's more controls on it in terms of, we just can't give money out to a veteran that comes up and says, I need my utilities paid. It's more like, he should probably go and pay the utility company itself, you know, because there's some SBOA guidance about not just paying individuals or directly donating. There needs to be some type of, you know, transaction. So I did kind of tweak that language a little bit. I think that one's probably ready to go. I think he had some concerns that I took out the travel part of it because, and I could talk to Chris about this. I was a little concerned that there might be two funds that technically would have a purpose of travel because he has his own line item, right, for like veterans travel. I was concerned that if we had two funds with the same purpose, that SBOA might have an issue with basically duplicate.
We currently have that too within elected officials because we have some in general and then we have the elected official. I know that we have that a lot of times too because departments get grants to fund them and yet they still have a line item within there. I know that this year, you know, travel has significantly been cut for departments. And I think that's one of his bigger concerns is he's trying to look at other avenues to pay for his training and travel, which is, you know, of course, not my business or anything. I just know that based on
a lot
emails.
of the training he has to go to is federally mandated. And I mean, no, it has to be, that's it.
But now,
Period.
doesn't the secondary training come through as an unbudgeted
That's what I was getting ready to say.
50,000 account?
If it's state called or
So-
federal called,
Right,
then it can be run as a non-budgeted. So if, so any elected official or department that's mandated training doesn't have to come out of their travel budget. They can do it as an unbudgeted
it's
item.
actually like an additional appropriation with that because it's mandated, so it has a fund number, but it doesn't have an account number other than the 50,000, which is wide open. So, and I think, and to Andrew's point, he's getting budgeted, but now he's setting up a fund specific for travel. And what my concern was too is I'm thinking they want specificity in these ordinances that tells you what you can and cannot, not just a blanket one, well, anything that does good for a specific group, because that leaves the door wide open because they want to come in and say, hey, how do you justify this?
And you
then
can't
I think-
audit that either.
Yes, and I think that's the State Board of Accounts' real thorny issue is you need to identify its uses and place them in the ordinance.
And my thought process is, you know, was completely, this is just an accounting thing to me. It doesn't, you know, the propriety of what the travel budget is. I mean, is the correct procedure that council, you know, appropriates more if he's gone over. I just didn't want it to get to a point where they look at it and say,
Understand.
there's two line items for travel and they're not really sure where that's coming from. But the rest of it I kept in and just tweaked the language a little bit around what he said. If you want to do that today, I guess you can. I can go back and check with SBA if they're gonna have an issue with there being essentially overage travel funding. If that's something you guys want the donation fund to fund, as veteran service travel, or do you want to have more specific to?
Well, I'm just thinking about this too. We have the canine donation fund, which I know we have an ordinance fund that pays for the training for the canine. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, a comparison of that. We've got the canine where it takes relief off of the general or the county to have to pay for that. I mean, we could definitely want to make sure we're crossing our Ts and dotting our
And
Is.
that's an ordinance that was drafted,
Mhm.
But that works for that, right?
Yes.
Through the
So it's kinda-
but
SBOA.
it's for that specific purpose.
Right.
So this would be
Anything.
the same thing.
Mhm.
So if we had the veteran service that's training specified,
It would be the same thing.
required, for that to take relief off of the, because you could do 50,000, but in the end, that's coming out of general
Sure
or
it is.
taxpayer dollars, where with this
Coming out of donations.
convention.
Yeah.
How many ordinances do you have out there that you need to?
I need health, I need sheriff, because there was a sheriff equipment donation fund that was set up prior to me that I did we did the K-9 afterwards, but we've got the health department, sheriff, and coroner, and then veteran service. Those are the only donations.
And I think I've talked to the coroner, health department's gonna get back to me.
Good.
I think those were the only two off the top of my head. that I
Isn't the
got.
sheriff's
And
equipment
veteran.
fund still doesn't have an ordinance?
Okay. Have you spoken with sheriff yet?
No, not yet.
I'll reach out to them again. I know I sent this in March, basically saying, hey, we're not gonna be able to pay anything out of these funds until we get ordinances for it. Which those other three funds in the 3 years that I've been here, we haven't been asked to pay anything out of there.
Mhm.
But I just, while we were
We just need to
looking at the
set.
veteran,
Just cleaning things.
wanted to
up.
clean it up, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll work on that.
So
What did we make a motion?
is Kevin good with this?
I think he really wanted the travel, because I know he sent another email. He's
I
pretty
see, yeah.
concerned with the budget that all of us have,
Yeah.
for travel. And I think he's just trying to do his due diligence to be ahead of things and do this right. And I think he's looking at the fact that, hey, if I can pay it out of my donation,
Right,
that's relief for the county.
and he's the only one that's responded to any of it.
Right.
So Andrew, can you put in something that says, state mandated, federal mandated travel can be paid out of that?
And
As
you can do it
a,
next
as a,
month.
as a use, because that's something that, even though now they put some new rules and he doesn't know where that trip will take him to, how much that cost may be, but it is something that he has to do, so. if we
He
could
does
add
have
that-
some coming up in June.
If we could add that in
Training.
and then make that as an acceptable use of it.
Yeah, I'll double check again, just with how state board wants that to look, because I will say that the K-9 thing could be considered different because you're getting K-9 specific training. Whereas with the veteran, he already has a line item for his general training, and this would be kind of another line item for more general training. Like if it was specific, like to an opioid response thing, that was different. I'll check with them, because I just want them, as long as they don't care, I think it'd be fine. But I just don't want them to
The
come
main
back and
thing is
say,
they don't come in here and tell us that's way too broad and you guys are just.
or they get two funds for the same thing, and this is
Mhm.
inappropriate. You need to have.
Right. Try to avoid that.
Yep.
If we could make this
Yeah, I have,
priority to make sure we have
We can
this
have
done
it
in May,
right.
because I know that he's trying to get things in line with his travel.
when it's
Yeah.
written, as long as you guys would be unanimous, you could get it done at the next meeting, as soon as I have SBOA.
Okay.
I think we're okay with it. We
Yeah.
just want to make sure we get the language correct.
That's
The
right.
main thing, so.
Because he's waited quite a while on this, and like I said, he did respond to this of getting an ordinance started.
So I'd entertain a motion on these ordinances until we get a little additional information.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
you think you can get that done before our next meeting?
As soon as
Okay.
SBOA gets back to me, they're pretty quick.
Okay, thank you.
So we get some, we can have it for our next Tuesday meeting.
Right,
That one for sure. I mean, I think that's the critical.
Yeah.
Next item we have is courthouse security, and that's gonna be a limited subject to discuss. But, Pam,
Basically, we had a courthouse security meeting, with our committee, and, reviewed several things going on at the courthouse and had some recommendations. First recommendation would be changing our access code, where now you put in your PIN code, it would be fob access, and it would be the same throughout the whole building. Right now, we have two different systems that we're operating on. So a request is to get pricing for the fobs, to use that. And the other is working on our front doors. It's an original door and we're having some issues with it. So we would like to request to get pricing for the fobs and the door.
I know that with the doors, I struggle, one person doing it. And we have had several situations at the courthouse in the mornings where we've come in, it's really hard to latch that. So we need to, that's something that,
I think what we need to do is just, because I think the court side already has fobs.
correct.
So we don't want to put a competing system.
And
And I think,
Samantha has fobs also.
yeah, and does the jail not have fobs too?
I can text real quick.
I think
I'm
they
not
do
sure.
too.
I think
So
they
we
do
get-
have fobs.
And then I also would like to see, and I don't know where we're gonna come in dollar wise to do this. It may not be a big amount where we don't have to take it out for bids. So we just need to reach out and get some pricing. I don't believe this building we may wanna convert to fobs too.
Okay.
And then that way,
Let's put it as an
we
option.
can control, because what's happening to us right now is that if someone has a meeting and they want to go to the courthouse, then during any type of voting, they will have to come to this building.
Mhm.
And if we can put together some type of a management system so that they can have access to here, how we would do that, I don't necessarily know, but some way where we've got some flexibility and could get people in and out without providing codes to the whole community.
Correct. And that was another item discussed, is having any after-hours meetings besides our regular scheduled commissioners or counselor meetings to be located here, to be held at this location instead of at the courthouse to eliminate any extra traffic.
And we may have a way, I think that this building could be pretty well isolated. We need to confirm that so that they just have access to this area. All the rest of the offices, I believe, have locks out here, so just so they have access to the restrooms and this room.
So we were looking at some pricing I can work on, and then we're also exploring any grant options that may be available for upgrades for our security.
All right.
I don't
Sounds
know if
like
I
a
need
plan to me.
Okay.
I would entertain a motion to ask Pam to spend a little time, see what she could find out, and some pricing of that, to get these security updates, upgrades, and also look at what we might do with the front doors at the courthouse.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Addison Road.
Are we gonna do anything about the meetings? Or are we holding off on that,
Oh, about the what?
the after-hour meetings?
I think that, let's get, before we have after our meetings, let's see what you can come up with on fobs and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then if it's in a timeline too.
Okay.
As to when, we could put locks and that in and change this over. And I think if that's kind of coordinated, and then we can do kind of wrap it up as quick as possible, I would say, if we're gonna get this addressed. Addison Road. That's been a road that has been taxed, the ground underneath it, as the county uses it for a roadway. We've worked on getting this put together. I think, after a year and a half now, it seems, we are at a point where everybody's comfortable. And Andrew, they provided me this old deed with a number on it. Do you have that? What that is and just to explain this a little bit, Dan DuPont's family has been graciously paying taxes underneath the county road for a number of years. And I think he's ready to pass that on to the county. That is the actual description, the old description of the road. And if we create a deed where he donates that to the county, that number, that specific number, will take the tax bill off of that property. And Nicole has already checked with David Lynch, and he can get the proper drawing into our GIS system that reflects the road. So we'll have GIS okay, will take the property tax charge off of Dan's family. And the county then will take title to the ground underneath the county road.
So it's just this description?
Just that
Okay,
description,
and just this owner?
just this only.
Okay. So,
Correct? Am I correct there, Dan?
Yeah, I have the original deed here, if he needs a copy of it before you.
no, if I had this, so, because I think the prior issue is we had two descriptions from two different owners and we're doing.
Some of it was incorporating the road and that, and it just really turned it into, we just kept going around in circles.
So if it's just this description, this agreement, then,
There's never been a transfer of any of this property to any of the other properties. David drew it up, wrote those deeds the way he did, but he stepped back the rod off of this and put peats. So it shows plainly on this other drawing that that road is still there because he couldn't supersede this deed.
so, but if this description, if we just do this description from this one owner, this will,
That'll take care of it.
okay,
That'll take care of it. It'll go away.
we can get all past the,
Everybody good with that?
It may fluctuate a little bit of that acreage, but probably not even enough to even,
Well, it's that, yeah, but that,
because these legal descriptions included the road.
Yeah.
So,
well, that'll be okay.
yeah, I mean,
And my
it's only
taxes will be less.
0.444, yeah. It's only 0.44, it's not even, it's
Fairly
not even,
insignificant amount
yeah,
of
it's
ground,
not
but
even
it's just,
yeah, so if that works for them, works for me.
when can we have that done so we can,
Tomorrow, because I just have to put the description. I
How
get
about
all the-
yesterday?
Yeah. I get,
so then the next step is you're gonna draft that deed.
Mhm.
And then Dan needs to sign it.
No, I hope that'll be soon.
yeah, we need to, yeah, we'll have to, well, I'll have to check the donation agreement, but there's a donation agreement that Lucia will have to sign with the deed. And then at the next meeting, you will do a resolution to accept the donation, and accept the property.
Can we get that completed so we can put this at our next?
All I have to do is copy and paste this.
So we know
description.
exactly what we need to do and we can get the signatures and get this
So
completed.
put this on the May 19th agenda.
Now,
For
there
completion.
was a part in one end that had written up before about paying the taxes on it, prior taxes. Need to be clear about what we're gonna be liable for.
Yeah, no. See, what happened to him, and tell me if I'm incorrect, Dan, but the taxes were like $10, they went to like $100. And it's for the ground underneath the road. And I told him, I said, just quit paying them. Eventually, the county will foreclose and we'll get it that way because he's been through the years and kind of unknowingly been paying taxes underneath this county road. So, we really shouldn't ask him to pay for back taxes and have a liability against his family that they owe those, because that should have been corrected decades ago.
Okay, I'll change that part of the donation agreement.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's it.
Good. So they get this for the 19th and we'll get this put away. Okay, now we're down to Steve. Come back up here again and start on our binding agent.
Okay, we're kind of early in the process on this yet, but I've talked to 15 surrounding counties. Either most of their engineers or the superintendents, one of the two. DuBois County, 4 or 5 years ago, they used something called dust pods.
Dust pod?
And they said it did not work very well. This is Levi, the engineer they have now. And he said it didn't work very good. He is Gibson County, Matt Holden is the engineer there. He's got different companies coming. They have tried some of this in the past, a little bit of it. They went to Texas him and Levi here last month to a demonstration and the thing on this binder. He tried, I guess previously he worked at Knox County.
Mhm.
They did a little section up there. Now he's at Gibson County and he's aggressively pursuing this. He's gonna do 3 1-mile sections this year, hopefully with 3 different
Products,
products.
okay. Do you know the names of them that he's using?
Well, I wrote down here somewhere. Base 1 is one of them.
Base?
What, no, that ain't the one they used. I thought I had that name. Didn't bring the notebook, it's got that in it.
He sent it to us.
Yeah,
So the one,
what they have used, last year that Gibson County did a little section.
Okay.
And, what they used was, he said a lot of this stuff is around $50,000 to $60,000 a mile. And he found something last year that he used, he said they applied it themselves and it only cost them $8,000 a mile. They did it last September. He says there has been no maintenance on that road since then. It eliminates dust. And he said you mix this, they tried a section of it, they did 4 inches deep and a section 6 inches deep. 6 is what's recommended. He said the 4-inch sections they didn't hold up very well. But the 6-inch, where they went 6 inches deep, he said it did hold up, or so far it's holding up very good. This is supposed to have a 10 to 15 year life on this chemical. If we could find something for $8,000.
Yeah, that's a
that'd be
heck of a
wonderful.
from 6 to 8.
He said it's like driving on a concrete road.
okay. So when he says that, the procedure, did he add rock? Did he go in? I'm thinking he probably scar fired the road and then
What?
added rock to it. Is that how he?
No, they went in and scar fired it. They took their grader and graded it back and forth and scar fired it 6 inches deep. Then they took their trailer. They had 2 water tanks, one on a truck and one on a trailer. They mixed the chemical in, the amount you're supposed to use per the gallons, and they put it on there, and then they mix it back and forth with the grader until they get it. He said you have to have it saturated where there's no air bubbles left in that part you're working. So you work it back and forth, and they had water, add this product to it, and then you level it off, and they manufacturer, I looked at it, it's Permazide, I think was the name of it.
Herbicide?
Yeah, I'll check and make sure and send it to you.
Okay.
But I checked it on, or looked it up on the internet, and none of the other counties have used this except for Gibson County. But he said they rolled it with their truck tires. You're supposed to use a roller and roll it. He said they rolled it with their truck tires, and he said they didn't have any problems with it. They did everything in-house. You know what?
And then it stayed in shape and they haven't
He
went
said
back after that
He
road.
said they did this last September and there had been 0 maintenance on it since then. We're gonna go up, I've got the address of 3 different spots where this has been tried, different ones, and I'm gonna go up and look at them. Me and the operations manager and the foreman's gonna go up hopefully this week yet and look at these roads, cause I'm wondering how it performs on a hill. I asked him about that, and he said that one road does have a hill on it. Of course, a hill to him in Gibson County might not be a hill. to us.
Exactly, it's a
Yeah.
lot flatter than what
We
ours
got
is.
different hills.
Yeah, and he said they mix that stuff, did it all themselves. He said on a hill, you have to be careful adding the chemical and the water to it. He said if you get it too thin, he said it'll run, of course, it's gonna run downhill on you.
Mhm.
So you have to be careful on a hill mixing it. But it sounds like might be a really good thing.
Yeah.
$8,000 a mile if we could. He's gonna do 3 different sections a mile each.
Yeah.
At $8,000 a mile versus every time you have to take rock out to those,
Yeah.
regrade them and go through that. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it'll free up your time and then
Right.
it'll keep
And
everybody
dust.
from being
Yeah,
aggravated.
he said they hadn't touched that road since September.
And the
So it
dust
went-
is.
So they went through the whole winter.
He said there's hardly any dust at all. He
Oh,
said
that's
the
great.
dust is almost gone when you do this.
That's good.
You get rid of the dust and then the road's like a concrete road. Now, he said the only thing he's seen a problem with, which is not really a problem, but when you go 6 inches deep, you get into dirt. And he said, then when you do this, your road looks like a dirt road, but it's a solid dirt road, like a,
Until it sets.
yeah.
Mhm.
And they're going, this year on, he's gonna take some 11s after they get it rolled and leveled out. He's gonna put a real thin coat of 11s on that and roll it with a roller,
An actual roller,
And-
not a
an
straight.
actual roller.
Yeah.
And see how it performs. But he's invited me up there to look at it, and he really hit, I mean, he's, real easy to talk to about it.
He's a nice guy. I know.
Yeah, well, yeah, you ought to have to talk to him about it, but it
Yeah, he,
sounds,
I know when he was over at Knox County and then he'd go into Gibson County and he's really knowledgeable.
him and that Levi from DuBois County both told me over and over, if there's anything, we like to help our surrounding counties if
Sure.
we can. If there's anything we can do, you let us know, and we'd be glad to help you all.
So the question becomes, Steve, is what equipment would we need if you took on that? Or you might, when you talk to these guys, if there's something that, a piece of equipment that would make this easier for like a group of us down here, where each county would invest a little in it, maybe some type of an incorporator or something that would make it blend together. Is there something that would make that work? I wouldn't be opposed to, Perry County and 5 other counties sharing the cost of some specialized piece of equipment.
See, they've got a piece of equipment, road zipper or something they call it, and it grinds it up in place.
Right, so,
And puts it right back down. I mean.
and maybe it has a way that you can apply a liquid when it does that. and
Well, that's
we can
what,
incorporate that.
that's what a lot of the counties are, not any around us, but they've, had demonstrations in Ohio and different places of this road zipper. And they just, that mills it up and levels it back off, and then they put some asphalt or something on it, or a chemical or something, whatever they want to.
Mhm.
I did talk to one county that uses calcium chloride, and they spend $100,000 a year on calcium chloride for dust control.
But how many roads are they talking about there?
Well-
I mean, miles or what have you?
He said it's pretty limited, but I said, does that cut down on that is Greene County. I said, does that cut down a lot on your maintenance? He said, no, maintenance is the same. So
Well, it takes care of the dust.
it takes care of the dust, but you still got to
Yeah.
grade it.
So this other thing would be better.
Yeah. Yeah, and he said this calcium chloride, he said, he don't know why, but their vehicles that's painted red, he said this interacts with them and fades the paint on them.
Ooh.
So we,
Calcium chloride is
Yeah.
nasty on a vehicle. It's not gonna make you popular if you don't get it covered with
We use
something.
that over at work, calcium chloride. Mhm.
but this
That's the
other
drawback of that.
it seems to me like that would be a whole lot better.
Well, that sounds
Get rid
good.
of the dust, and if it's like a
Yeah.
concrete road.
Yeah.
Hey, it would save on vehicles, labor, maintenance
Yeah.
and what have you, and still have a decent road.
So you're planning on going out there sometime in the next week or so?
We're gonna go
So-
look at it.
Can we schedule you for the next meeting to tell us what you found?
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you for doing that.
What do you want there?
Thank you.
Thank you for checking on everything. I think that sounds good there.
Well, the
Well,
price is
what I-
right.
What I checked before, it said 60,000 miles, but we can't afford to do that. But
No.
he said this actually, last year it cost them 8,000 a mile, so what they figure it cost them doing it themselves.
I wonder if there's a minimum amount or a maximum amount that you have to buy and
No, you can buy,
As much
on
as
the
you want.
website, you can buy a 5-gallon bucket, or you can buy however much you want.
okay. Good.
Sounds great.
Thank you for
See you
checking
back
on
next
everything.
week.
Good.
Our next meeting.
Yeah.
Next item we have up, stay there, Steve.
Don't move.
Approval to advertise for bids for Cattail, Bell Hollow, Scarlet, Shady Lane, and Starbite Roads. The.
Starbright, where's that at?
Sulphur Springs.
Sulphur Springs, okay. I knew some of them up there was Scarlet and Bell Hollow, Shady Lane.
Mhm.
Do we have where we can advertise? Are these, you have the descriptions ready to go?
We're working on it.
Okay.
We may have them done today.
Get with them and
Later
we'll
on.
do it.
See, that's what on these things here, the sooner the better.
Could advertise them twice, 10 days apart.
I think she had it coming back for, well, I don't remember. She had the,
Once I get the information from Marilyn, I'll send it to you guys.
Okay.
Okay, and
And then
then what
you
I
and
would
I
like to
can
do is, instead of, because see, I'm fearful we won't have it by our May meeting is at the 19th. You'll not get it advertised quick enough in that, so if we could have, I'd like to have a special meeting
It's fine.
and move on. So
We
as
have
quick
to
as,
10 days apart, so when's the next
and then
meeting?
just,
I think we had
19th.
figured the first meeting in
So-
June when the.
yeah, but I just said push it on and get it.
I'll just work with you on that scheduling.
Soon
So
as
once
you-
you get the paperwork, then I'll correspond with you.
So if he
On
has the
schedule.
paperwork coming in, can you get a slot saved in the paper like for this Thursday?
As long as I think you have to have it by noon on Monday to be in Thursdays.
Okay.
Noon today.
How much of a description? You don't have to have a full description. All we have to do
Just
is-
the notice to bidder
I
stuff.
think she's probably
So-
got that filled out.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you can have her have me the notice to bidder by noon, boom,
So
I'll
then
just
see, we
put
can
my
get it
stuff
in,
on it.
we can get it in Thursday and
Yeah.
then we.
Actually, I don't need it. Well, I'll need the description from her and then I'll put it in my template for notice to bidder. So
Okay.
yeah, she gets that
So
to
we
me.
get
I
that in
get that
Thursday
noon.
and then that'll push us something
So
in
then I'll
May
advertise.
20th range in there.
So that'll advertise on the 7th and then on the 21st. Because since they're only doing one paper,
Okay, so you 21st and then,
the 7th and the 21st, because there's only one paper now.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
then we can have, so I just need to know when you're
can
gonna
we,
have your
can we
meeting.
have a opening on the 22nd?
Well,
if
if
you're
you
not, you're gonna-
advertise it on the
you're-
21st, you gotta give them time. I
The
think,
problem is you're gonna hit Memorial Day on the 25th.
so if you're advertising, I think it's 10 days apart and 10 days before your special meeting, because you gotta give time.
so you're talking 30 days.
I think we
Well-
did that quicker than that before.
Well, if you're advertising on the 21st, you can't have the bids due on the 21st.
Right. You could have them on the 22nd then. That's a Friday.
And then have the meeting
And I
then.
think if we give the normal guys that bid on our asphalt work and our
Contact.
road work
So when do you think you do the
Heads up.
special meeting?
Friday, does that work for everybody?
So you want me to have them do
That'll
it
work
9
good.
AM on Friday?
Yes, because I think anybody wants to take off for the
9
holiday
AM on
weekend.
Friday.
We want to get it,
Okay, so I can get this, you get me the description, I can get this advertised by noon.
Well,
So,
we've been having some problems with the computer, but, had Windows 10 that they updated and they're 6 years old, but we'd had it done by now if it
9
wasn't for
AM
that.
Friday.
Hopefully we can get them.
they know best when they upgrade you.
What day is that, the
They
22nd?
know best when they upgrade you. Unfortunately, that's not really how it works at your place.
Nothing's worked.
I've been
right
through that
since.
before and now they've changed everything.
So we're thinking like a 10
I know.
AM meeting?
Yep.
For them to have it to my office by 9 AM? And then, what do you
You can
think?
get me to 10,
That work for everybody?
Mhm.
Friday, the 22nd, 10 AM.
Bid deadline? Okay,
And that'll be at the courthouse?
Yep,
Yep.
we're back at the courthouse.
Okay.
So I'd entertain a motion to approve the advertisement of these group of roads and accept bids the 22nd of May at 10 AM.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
And again,
Steve.
thank you for finding out about that. That would be really,
Well, Randy gets some credit for that too.
If this works, not only me, but everybody in this county that lives on a gravel road,
Mhm.
it's gonna feel like this is wonderful.
Because I thought, the 60,000 miles.
That's too
was-
much.
that's
Yeah.
too much.
didn't
Because I was getting the
Yeah.
same stuff too, Steve, to be honest. I was looking around and there's a variance from very low to high and this, and I'm thinking, we're getting up to the price of asphalt.
Yeah.
You know, and we get up there in these
Yeah.
huge amounts and everything associated with it, and I'm thinking, we're not doing ourselves any favor putting a treatment on there that's that costly.
I bet it was shocking when he told you it was 8,000 a
No,
mile.
I couldn't believe it.
I know.
I thought we needed to do this.
He's pretty good. He's a good source. There's no question about it.
Well, that's
Yeah,
good. That's what, checking with other surrounding people that,
I want to check for some more too.
Yeah.
See if I can find somebody else that's done it. It's
Mhm.
really limited on who's actually tried this. I
Right.
guess it's something
Be
new.
interesting.
they might have been
See it.
keeping it a secret up there too.
Well, yeah.
With that said, that was the last item on our agenda today. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 22nd.